Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork Noodles. This is your 5th episode of Tower of God Breakdown. I'm sorry it's delayed. I have officially moved to Japan, so welcome from Japan. I am sat here in 34-degree heat recording your first ever breakdown from Japan. So I'm sat here with my aircon on, ready to break down the 5th episode of Tower of God, and I have missed anime. I really felt like I was itching to get back into this episode, so I can't wait to bring it down with you guys. I am considering doing a Q&A session, so please let me know if you'd be interested in doing a video just with my avatar. Maybe we could stream it. We're going to do some questions about my move, the 5 days I spent in Japan. I think I've already got quite a few good stories for you guys. So I am recording my 5th episode today for you guys. Obviously episode 6 is coming out in about 2 days time. I am currently on Obon break, so I am going to Nagasaki on Monday, which probably means your video will be delayed just by a day or two, just so I can get it out for you guys, because I'm going to be very, very busy. But it does mean we are now back on schedule, so I'm very excited to get back on schedule with you guys. Hopefully, this is the last time I'm bumping your schedule around, so thank you so much for bearing with me. I am planning on bringing some Japan content to you. I am going to Ogi tomorrow. I'm going to Nagasaki and Fukuoka. Can't wait. I will have an Ichiran video going out when I visited Ichiran in Shinjuku. So bear with me as you're going to start getting some different content. Very exciting. So let's now break down today's episode. It is official. Any day that I start with seeing Khun's face is just a good day. I really wasn't expecting us to jump straight into his team, but this is where we're going. I don't really remember where the flower sequence slits in. I think Bam was training at the time against maybe the battle against Anak, that little section, so maybe it's that part. For the first time in Japan, join me as I say, F Rachel. Hashtag F Rachel is back a lot, because she's in this video a lot, too much more than I would like her to be, but I'm definitely going to be saying it for the first time. Now, it would appear that our boy Bam is starting to make waves, and of course our boy Khun seems to have a lot of networks, a lot of connections. Somebody is spying and has told him about the ranker who suddenly appeared and is chasing up level 20, I think he's on. I don't know what level Khun is still on. We haven't really had that confirmation, but it would just appear that our boy Khun, he is a mastermind, and I am reminded this week why I love him so much and dearly, and he is indeed my husbando. Khun's plan to gather some strong people to help climb the tower, take Rachel up to the top. That's what he's using as a cover. Very interesting to see that Khun has a very scary ability to make things happen, to rent out an entire cafe to test this person. We haven't really covered much about him because season 1 really is all about the story, getting Bam established, trying to get it all down, so we don't really get the biggest backstory in the world when it comes to Khun. He's a mystery. There's a lot going on. I do also wonder where our boy Rak is, because he is Kenta Miyagi, I think he is, the guy who plays All Might from My Hero Academia. Very curious to see where he has vanished to. So we have been told that the teams have split up. We have the group of Anak and Endorsi now going ahead, forging away. This was all done on purpose. So originally when I first heard that it was just these guys, I was like, oh, maybe because the floor states that they have to be in a group of 6, maybe it's because those are the requirements of each level. Every single level seems different. The floor design of this one seems to be clouds. It reminds me a little bit of Skypiea from One Piece. It's got quite a unique one where they go into these buildings and then they're in these buildings, but then they come out and it looks like everything is clouds apart from the houses, which is very, very unique. So let's talk about the elephant in the bed. Rachel is back, and she tells us it's been years since Bam fell down, and obviously she's playing the I'm so sad and I'm having this trauma, I can't walk and I'm so upset, and it's all this manipulation, this emotional manipulation that she is using. Of course, we're going to say it for the second time, hashtag fuck Rachel. Khun is trying to get her to go to the top. That is the cover story, that he feels bad and he promised Bam that the last thing he would do is take her to the top. But obviously that isn't quite the case. That's not what's going on here. And I was a little bit worried when I saw him acting like a lapdog, cutting up her apple, being all so nice, giving her a hug. And I was like, no, is he caved? Is he like falling for her tricks? Is he on her side? But it's my boy. I should never doubt my boy. Rachel obviously acting this way because she can't to climb the tower on her own. I think the point with Rachel as a character is she's supposed to represent a normal human being, more relatable, that I don't have these special powers, I can't do this, I can't do that. She's supposed to be relatable, and I actually think she is the author's favourite character. When he's been interviewed about it, he's actually said that Rachel is more relatable. She's supposed to be like the reader. Of course, Khun knows exactly what's going on. It seems that he has been tipped off by one of the admin from floor number 2. Curious though, I want to know what the actual gain behind that was, because normally the floor guys don't seem to get invested, but it seems that they actually sent a doctor out to test Rachel's legs to see if they could mend them, but they found out that she could actually walk. But we know that most of the people climbing the tower don't get that treatment. You don't get like healthcare for joining tower and climbing. Very happy that my boy at least has his wits about him and he knows that something's not quite right. Now, I really want to know what Khun's long game is. It seems like he is getting all these team together to make a team, to make Rachel feel welcome. But as we hear behind closed doors, don't get attached. I want you to be ready to turn your back on her when it hurts the most. So it seems like he's going to try and stab her. Maybe they're going to get to a point where we can only take 5 of us and we're going to leave Rachel behind and really hurt her or something. Maybe that's the plan. Hats off to our boy Khun for never forgetting Bam and his sacrifice for the team. I'm going to be very curious to see when he's planning to do this comeuppance for Rachel. My boy, he's leader of the #FRachel Club. I am curious to know if Khun thinks that the person who has appeared could be Bam, because he does definitely seem to think that Bam is dead, and he uses the terms like killed. I am looking forward to the day that both teams team up, because it seems to be foretold in our end credits, no matter how spoilery they are. Now let's talk about our boy Ran. Ran strikes me as very familiar to Khun, got the same kind of traits, makes me wonder if he's part of the same family line, because I think Khun is from one of those big families. He does let slip that he wants to climb up and kill a certain member of his family, so I want to know what the backstory is there. There's so many questions I have to ask about this character in particular. He's just an enigma. A lot of the characters who are climbing and are in Tower of God, we just don't know enough about them, and I'm very curious to see what their deals are all about. Definitely one of the best parts of this week is watching Ran go at it with a different member of the team, seeing them end up wearing shirts that just aren't fitting, because clearly the guy who thought he was going to win organised it so that he'd have number 1 and the little kid would have number 2. So everyone's wearing shirts that don't quite fit, and I love the fact that it's turned out to be a bit of a crop top when it comes to the muscle guy. I do have to hand it to them when it comes to Rachel, when as soon as we've got Khun leaving, you can see that there's this shift and she suddenly lets it all go and then she starts to laugh. Generally, I have to say to the author, like, if she's supposed to be like the favourite character, how come she's laughing to herself, coming up as quite evil, doing a proper evil laugh? I'm smiling when like everyone's away and everyone's sad about what happened to Bam, but here's me smiling. I tricked all these people into looking after me and I'm playing the princess. If she's supposed to be a good character, then why so evil? Now, I absolutely adore the moment when Khun is talking to everybody and finally letting the truth come out, and he closes his fist and it transitions from day to night. Really nice. Love that, because the topic becomes dark. This is now me telling you this person has killed my friend. He's clearly planning on hurting her in an emotional way, and it makes me feel proud, because one betrayal I see on every single top 10 betrayals ever, and it's always, she's there. She's always on every single list, and I don't know why. The way that she's continued for years and years and years, just, there's no remorse. There's no sign of that she's upset with what she has done. The music at this moment is one of the best moments of the episode for me. It's always music for me. It's obviously Kevin Penkin at his best. The music has some of that beautiful Tower of God chanting coming in, making it sound really tribal. I think the guy's talent is just creating worlds out of nothing, and I can probably bet that it's not Japanese you're hearing during this sequence. It's definitely a made-up language that he's combined to make you feel alien. It's getting really good. It's all starting to build up because we're climaxing. This is where we're coming in with Khun announcing his plan, his very dark plan that he's gonna get revenge for his friend. So Khun announcing that they are now about to start climbing the tower once again makes me wonder when we're actually going to have the two groups meeting. I am very excited to see how they're going to react when we finally show that Bam is alive, but I'm guessing right now, because he looks like Viol, people aren't going to recognize off the bat that it's him. And plus, the only people who are going to recognize him now in that group who are the same are Rachel and Khun. So I guess in this way, if they do end up crossing paths, most of the group are going to be spared from knowing that Rachel has lied, because as Khun has said, he sent a few people ahead because he doesn't want to announce what's really happened because it's going to break the group apart, and Khun is thinking about everybody involved. The switch to Violan gang at the end is very, very nice. The dynamics are very much different. You've got a bit more of a family feel going on. I love the fact that Nepo Baby, as I'm calling him, is in the front room dancing, maybe perhaps the MMD with the little girl as well. So clearly the baby of the group, and he's finally settled in. Viol acting like a bit of a mum, cooking for everybody. This is the house I'm providing. I'm heading out to karaoke. I like that. The group is nice. The dynamics feel very much different because in this sense, the only person who's kind of hiding secrets is Bam, and they are aware that he's definitely not an open person. As we follow Bam into karaoke, we do see the red-haired person. She is the same woman who rescued Bam all those years ago, a member of Fug. Clearly she knows who she's speaking to, so when the guy's pretending to be Bam, she's like, no, you're definitely just a pig. You're not Bam. I can see this. And that's fascinating to me because it means that somehow she's also gotten up to this point and she's clearly aiding him along in his journey, because she said, like, you've got to continue, you've got to practice your powers. So clearly there's something going on behind the scenes. I am also thinking that the Fug woman might be behind Bam having money to secure the house. Maybe she intended for the other girl to see that Bam wasn't actually a threat or anything. I don't know. Definitely seems that most of the people in the family in the group of Viol don't see him as a bad person. A lot of them are starting to see that kind inner nature. It's certainly a very interesting episode that covers a lot. I think the main takeaways are that Khun really hasn't forgotten, and there is a counter Rachel plan going on active, which makes me very happy. Obviously, we've now got the two groups in the tower that we're following. I guess we're going to be flicking between the two, which hopefully should be done nice and balanced. But it really is a story that's starting to ramp up a little bit, and it's making me proud as well that Khun never forgot Bam, and that name hasn't been forgotten. And I'm still sad that Rachel, she's not shown any signs of remorse. And most of the time I just don't trust her, because if you're laughing behind the scenes, maybe it is a sign of stress, but in this case it just doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's a case that I'm laughing because I'm getting away with all this kind of stuff, and maybe she thinks that nobody suspects, but everybody actually does. But it is a very good episode. I do want to also quickly address the mega quake warning that you may have heard about. So Japan has undergone a few big earthquakes. One hit my island, so I am located on Kyushu. The first big quake, which was 7.1, was often south of Kyushu. I had it at a 3. So it's the first time I've ever had a earthquake. My phone went crazy when I was about to get into my apartment, so I just stood there outside looking like a bit of a lemon. But my phone was going off and I wasn't sure, how long do I wait? Like, when is this quake gonna happen? Maybe it's a fake quake. It's not actually gonna, maybe it's just a warning. And it did. It followed about 60 seconds afterwards. I could see the building in front of me rise a little bit, and I also felt it beneath my feet. Like, I was on the flat floor, but it rose. I could feel it rise up and then drop again. So it was quite scary. I've never really had an opportunity to really experience one in my real life. I've gone through the earthquake simulator in the British Museum, but that's about it. I think Tokyo had one afterwards, and then there's been another few more, and now there's a bit of a warning about megaquakes going on. In general, I am concerned for all my friends, and I'm just hoping everyone's going to be okay, and they're actually just having a chance to enjoy and settle down, because it's been a very long, busy few days for everyone who's gotten to Japan. But really can just take it day by day. I am actually okay. I did wake up after coming back to the convenience store. So I literally went out to the convenience store straight afterwards because I was hungry, and I got back. There were missed calls from the UK. People were trying to get hold of me on the server. I'm like, I'm okay, it's fine. For some reason, people thought there'd been a tsunami, and there hadn't been. It was just a warning that went out, because that happens naturally. If there's any kind of quake, you need to follow that up with a tsunami warning, because they generally follow. But there was about a 1 meter tsunami instead. Not as dangerous as it could have been, but still a threat if it hits the right areas. In general, I am okay. We now have a week before the midway review, which is probably going to go out a little bit later. Most things are bumped around by a few days, but we'll see how it goes. It's just going to be me crowning my top 3 animes, top 3 OPs and EDs. I can't wait to share them with you, because I think I know what I'm going with already. Not too much brain power involved. Thank you guys so much. I hope you are doing well, and goodbye from Japan. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye.